Whitney, and he is head of the youth recruitment department at Ajax, one of the leading top Dutch soccer giants. And basically, his role is with his team and staff identifying top talents within the Netherlands and also outside the Netherlands that can be part of the famous Ajax training school. And you know, his world has changed dramatically because, of course, it's quite difficult to get kids or youth players at all at the department, especially at Ajax. There is at this moment a big problem because a lot of players of the first team have had COVID, so the whole club is in isolation. So it's already a practical logistical nightmare to get all the youth at the club. But now, I mean, what is the impact of not being able to select new players, to train players for the short term, but also on the long term, because the youth department is one of the key commercial generators for the club. But he's going to talk about not only the practical problems, but also what is the impact and the effect on the long term for a club that's so much depending on the youth department. So I'm very happy to have Casimir in the show. And then we go to Dave, and I ask Thomas to give a short introduction on Dave.
Yeah, so hello there. David is a high-performance coach, used to be national coach, but in the end, he is now a doctor in high-performance sports coaching and the development of connected governance and policies. So he's very much into the field of policy making as well, which is exciting, I think, because he's sort of like telling us the stories about the athlete and the teams, because maybe the whole idea of sports revolves around the people that are, of course, motivated because of sports. And he's running a program in Dublin for several years already. And he will focus on how national federations and organizations dealt with this crisis on 3 different levels. On the top level, which is in this case, it's about field hockey, by the way, Sport Ireland, the top governance body in Ireland, actually running also the Olympic programs. Hockey Ireland itself, the national federation running the national teams and national team programs, and the policies that were affected at team levels, of course, had an effect on team programming. Were they able to train? Did they need to be tested? Social problems with the players. What is their future in sports, and so on. So he has a statement positioning the product from the organization itself is the performance output. And as a high performance coach, the performance output is their product. And that's all that counts. So the color of the medal defines your market value. And now, how are you actually developing policies and governance to further support this process? So he will have a very nice story about analysis on the 3 different levels. The top governance body, the Ireland Institute of Sports, the federation level, and the team level. I hope you will enjoy, but also learn a lot from him. He's an exciting person to meet.
So 5 great speakers from basically all over the world. And we need you now to be prepared to know everything about those speakers and their topics. So we're going to challenge you about raising the bar in this learning environment and to prepare you to know everything about them. And basically, we offer you a framework you can look from different perspectives to every speaker and the organization they work in. Because it starts also always with personal leadership, you know, about myself, knowing myself, as Whitney beautiful mentioned and shared her story. They all will share a personal story, like how have the last 5 months affected my personal life and my personal leadership. So in the bottom, it's always knowing yourself, my personal leadership. But you also have to deal with your direct environment, your staff, your organization, your sports environment. And how do you deal? How do you make decisions and lead change within your direct organization? That's the second circle, my sports environment. And yes, around your organization, you've got all those stakeholders, government, politics, funding, media, all those stakeholders that are putting pressure on you or have opinions. And how do you deal with all those emotions and opinions? How do you distinct emotions from facts? It's about what you mentioned in the beginning. It's about leading and focusing on the things you can focus on and lead. And in the end, it's also about our world. I mean, our world that is changing and is affecting, impacting sports. So that's the highest level. It's about knowing what's happening in your world and what parts do you have to implement in your own sports organization. And every time, every speaker, you can look from those 4 different perspectives to their story. And in the end, every leader has to make a strategy, has to make decisions. And all those decisions are sooner or later affecting the athletes, the team, as Thomas mentioned with Dave Passmore, you know, how are the athletes in the end or the team dealing with this change? But also you have to deal with the commercial, the corporate part, like Ricardo Ford is going to address, you know, the business part. How are the funding models are going to look like the next 2 years? Where's the funding coming from? So definitely the business, the corporate and the commercial part is going to be affected by all those 5 speakers. And then in the end, we're mentioning the governance, the federation, the government. Who's deciding when it's safe to play again? Who's deciding who is going to play next year in the Champions League or not? It's not that clear. So the whole governance discussion is always part of this massive crisis. And how, as a leader, are you going to deal with those governance things? And as Whitney already mentioned, the Olympic part, you know, the Olympic values, but also still, I mean, we've got those Olympic Games next year and everything is like a pyramid going towards those Olympics. You know, who is taking charge of this? Who's deciding, are the Olympics going ahead at all also next year? Who knows? But it is affecting all those 5 speakers. So before we go to the breakout rooms, especially for the students from the Amsterdam universities, but I want to encourage also the Oregon students, we want you to prepare 3 questions per speaker in advance. So that means you need to do some desk research and know exactly not only everything about the speaker, but also about their background, their specific expertise. And I want you to formulate 3 questions that you could ask to the speaker. And sometimes we're going to randomly ask students to ask those questions to the speaker. And first, per speaker, we also want you to write a short opinion, like you would be an expert on that specific domain. For example, it could be sponsoring or partnerships. It could be high performance. It could be talent development or recruitment, like Casimir. Write an expert opinion in max 200 words to give your opinion on that specific domain. And for the Amsterdam University students, we want to have those 5, it's 5 speakers, so not 6, 5-page document before Sunday evening. So that's to prepare you really for the 5 speakers. But now we go to the breakout meetings, and during those breakout meetings, you're going to do 2 things. It's a short introduction of your team. So every student has got 4 or 5 minutes to share a personal story about how have the last 5 months affected your leadership or leadership in sports, just like Whitney Beautiful did. It's just a short personal reflection or introduction of yourself. And then second, it's also the preparation of your team assignment, because this is the first and only moment that you are together with your team. So you have to discuss how are you going to work together in the next week on creating, delivering your team assignment. And it's not a big team assignment. It's just to encourage to work together as a cross-cultural team and to work to deliver something that you are proud of, that you say, hey, this was great to do together and we've delivered some great piece of work together. That's our main goal of this team assignment. So the question, what is the team assignment? You are basically creating a new strategic model that projects one possible future sports scenario for the next 3 years. So basically, you're going to think about a future sports scenario for the next 3 years. And you're quite free to choose the topic and the angle as long as you've got a very solid discussion about what could happen in the next 3 years around this topic. So basically, you're going to use and combine at least the information from 2 speakers. So for example, you could connect the high performance topic of Dave Passmore and Ricardo Ford about sponsor deals, like how can athlete welfare and high performance sports benefit from new innovative global sponsorship deals. So basically, you always take at least 2 topics and combine it and try to build a model that could predict a future scenario for the next 3 years. Every team is going to appoint at least one team chairman that basically manages the process in the working engagement, etc. And you create 2 separate strategic crisis teams. So members from different schools are working together. So basically with a team of 4, you've got 2 teams, sub-teams of 2 persons. And every sub-team analyzes one specific topic and formulate a possible future scenario. And then of course you try to connect those 2 scenarios together to one general scenario. And of course, the chairman is facilitating this process. And your end delivery is maximum 2-page article with the model, the assumptions you've made, and the scenarios. And we would like to encourage you to post and share this on social media and send us, the staff, both Whitney and us, a link to this article and model you've made. And it's not about a huge article. It's just to encourage you to be critical and think about the future. So back again, what are you going to do? Short introduction of your team, and then shortly talk about the preparation of your team assignment. You've got 25 minutes to do this, and in every team is one staff member that can challenge you. So where are now, I'm looking to my Houston control mission, we're now going to the breakout rooms. See you back in 25 minutes. That we are together. So Whitney, the final word is for you. What's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Well, I'm going to go drink beer, obviously. No, I'm just super excited and I am inspired. You know, I don't think our students fully appreciate that the faculty staff gets so much energy and enthusiasm and inspiration from these amazing young people who are excellent and professional and poised and mature and creative and smart. And I'm just feeling full of energy that was given back by listening to all of these really impressive young people. So I'm so excited and grateful for the opportunity, and I can't wait to see everyone again on Monday.
Thank you, Whitney. Have a good weekend, and we all see you Monday back for the first speaker. Thank you and goodbye. Hey, Greg.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's good to see you, man.
You too. Thanks for putting everything together here.
It's a small thing. It's good to have you here back. I hope I didn't take you away from your morning running trek?
No. I got up this morning, got out the door. It was nice and cool. 48 degrees, first time in the 40s for us all summer. So it was a good day for some running.
Nice. And how's life for the rest going?
Everything's good. I actually traveled last week. It was the first time being on a plane since all of this started. My brother got married, and he's back in Ohio, which is, a couple plane flights away for us. So that was odd. It wasn't very busy, and I actually just got my results back from my COVID test, and I'm negative, so that's good. Didn't pick up anything along the way. So yeah,
Good to hear.
things are good. How are you?
Yeah, it's the same strange situation as for you. It's a lot of remote working, not being able to work with groups, with corporations, and with schools. So it's a lot of online.